Hey, this is Rex, and I told you I'd be back with another deck profile. Today, we're going to be going over Traptrix. This is a pretty cool deck. It's been around for a while, and there's going to be some new support coming later. And right now, it's a decent, fun-ish deck. You could definitely, try to take it to some tournaments. Hopefully, do some well over there. It's all going to rely on whether you can really get those trap effects off. And for the most part, it's pretty good. Let me go ahead and start this. So first off, for monsters, we've got 3 Traptrix YuGiOh. This is the basic one. You gotta play 3 of this. If you could play 4, that'd be great, that'd be cool, but we can't anyway. The effect is that when it is normal summoned, you get to add 1 trap normal card from your deck to your hand, or trap hole normal trap card from your deck to your hand. So just instantly searches out any trap hole cards from the deck. Not just regular trap hole, but all the other ones are herder. The effect is when it's special summon, you get to destroy 1 spell or trap card. So that's pretty neat. It's some good monster effect also. The only thing is, if you're in a situation where like you're locked out of monster effects, then the special summoning effect isn't super helpful if you run into that. But for the most part, like pretty solid card. From there are 3 Traptrix Mantis, which are one of the recent additions. This one has a normal summon effect that when it's normal summon, you get to add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. So very useful in searching out your monsters, which that's great because this is one that we actually, really needed. It does also have a special summon, or a quick effect, sorry, that you can swap one of your set trap cards to set another trap card from your hand. So, swap them out like that. It's okay, you can kind of do that. That's decent enough, but for the most part, it's there to be a Traptrix name, and it's there to search out all your other cards. Mostly you're going to want to search out YuGiOh, or maybe even Dionea, which 3 Traptrix Dionea. I've seen some builds bring this to like 2. It's all right. It's well, what's funny is, back in the day, we would say, oh yeah, this is basically a Wolfberg, but no one plays Wolfberg anymore either. The effect is that when it's normal summon, you get to special summon a Traptrix from the graveyard. That's pretty neat. You're going to get the special summon effect of that Traptrix though, so you're not going to get the normal summon, but for the most part, like, it gets you 2 Traptrix monsters on the field, which is very useful for Link, Xyz, whatever you want to end up doing. From there, 2 Traptrix Atrax and 1 Nepenthes. Atrax is a neat one because it's unaffected. Well, for one thing, I forgot to mention, they are all unaffected by whole normal trap cards. So Atrax's effect is that you can activate whole normal trap cards from your hand. Again, that's so long as you meet the activation requirements from your opponent summoning something, and you can just go ahead and activate it from the hand as long as this is face up on the field. And the effects of normal trap cards activated on your side of the field cannot be negated, so that's just very useful. Not only for the trap hole, it doesn't only like make your normal trap cards immune to negation, but your other normal trap cards. Not just like the holes, but everything else that you play. Sorry, I always forget Nepenthes' effect exactly, but it's when you activate a whole normal trap card, you get to add or special summon, or you get to add to your hand or special summon from your hand a Traptrix monster. So it just helps bring out more. Like, it's just additional like extra stuff. Like all the Traptrix, I guess, kind of past the 3 ofs. They're just kind of extra helpful stuff. Like Atrax is pretty useful, but just kind of having extra monsters because again, with some of the new support coming later, it just kind of helps to have all Traptrix monsters. That's it for them Traptrix monsters. For everything else, just hand traps. 4 hand traps. You could up this number if you want. I've got 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Effect Veiler, which Effect Veiler is good again. You can up these if you want. You can play, 3 Ash Blossom and 1 Veiler, or just whatever. It's all up to you. This is what I'm doing right now. That's it for the monsters. Next up for spells, and spells are real quick because we're only playing 5. 3 Pot of Duality because you can go ahead and search things out pretty quickly. Ideal play, YuGiOh. YuGiOh searches a trap hole card. Duality, you can dig into your deck a little further, get something else, and then you can just set your hand behind YuGiOh because it's basically all going to be traps if it's not more monsters to use next turn, but that's pretty neat. Reborn because it just special summons things. Again, some YuGiOh, get a pop. And Scapegoat because you can go into Link plays from there, or you can just better distract things. Again, you have a YuGiOh if it's backed up by a bunch of traps and a Scapegoat. That's very ideal because you can... And why did I throw away Scapegoat and not that? I couldn't find my common Scapegoat, so I had to use my super. Oh yeah, first world problems. Anyway, that's it for these spells. And now for the traps, which, I mean, look at how much the traps take up. So let's go with the whole cards first. 3 Bottomless, 2 Network, 2 Time Space. Let me get in under here. 2 Nightmare, 1 Void, and 1 Regular. Let me say this. Network Trap Hole is an interesting, spicy tech. swap this out for, what's the word? Floodgate Trap Hole if you want to. I always thought Floodgate Trap Hole was a little weird, you know, but I need to get around to getting some anyway. Oh, you have a Network Trap Hole, but not the Floodgate, whatever. I don't know, man. Just play a bunch of Trap Hole cards, whatever you have. Mostly 3 bottomless because we have 3 bottomless, and that is so nice. And bottomless is just definitely the most useful out of any of these, just straight up banish stuff. Time Space is great to be able to get rid of things. It's not, you know, super amazing as it was with Pendulums, but I mean, hey, Pendulum Magicians are around, so you can take care of that. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare is interesting. I've always loved Void Trap Hole ever since it first came out. Ever since it first came out, I always like teched it into as much as I could, and the fact that you can just search it with this is pretty neat. Whether it's worth to play more, I don't know. Regular Trap Hole is interesting because, you know, if you happen to draw it or happen to search for it, you can set it and get rid of normal summons because normal summons are still a thing typically. If not, you can keep it in the deck and then ditch it for the effect of Rafflesia if you need to. Network Trap Hole, let me talk about that spicy tech right there. Network Trap Hole has the effect that when your opponent special summons a monster from the main deck or graveyard, banish it face down. So it's really interesting. Again, more of a spicy tech. I might just want to, you know, swap out one for a Floodgate and play or whatever, because again, you can just search whatever. And like I said, mostly it's bottomless. That's the best one. But Network Trap Hole is interesting, you know. Special summons from the deck still happen sometimes. Special summon from the graveyard happens. And when you banish it face down, that's it. Basically, your opponent can't really access things that are face down banished. I thought it was a pretty neat card, so I'm trying it out, and it's working out pretty well. What is that? Let's see, 5, 7, 9, 11 Trap Hole cards. That's fine. Again, you can search all of them out with Myrmileo and then just additional stuff. But that's it for the Trap Hole cards. Yeah. 4 extra trap cards. We've got Call the Haunted, Back to the Front, Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force. And I wonder if that's like a decent way to present these. Let me chat about these. Back to the Front is a good way to bring out your, say, Myrmileo or just anything else. I always say Myrmileo because that's the most useful one out of all of them. Because normal summon, search a Trap Hole card. Special summon, you get to pop something. And you just have it on the field to be able to use later. 1 Back to the Front because it's a normal Trap Hole card, or not Trap Hole, but it's a normal trap card. So with Traptrix, that just allows it to not be negated, if anything. However, Call of the Haunted is a little more useful because it special summons in attack position. Back to the Front has to summon in a defense position, unfortunately. You can mix these up however you want. You could even play, I don't know, Well of a Dragon Souls, but well, actually you can, because that's just Back to the Front, just a little different. But point is, you know, mostly summon Myrmileo, summon whatever else you want because they're all pretty useful as long as you have them on the field. Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, Storm Mirror Force, those are all cool because they're normal trap cards, and again, if you have Traptrix on the field, they can't be negated. So they're very useful. Just Mirror Force being able to destroy, Quaking being able to set things. So I guess in a way that's sort of an additional way of having Floodgate. And then Storming Mirror Force is just amazing because it just bounces things out of here. I considered also playing Compulsory Evacuation Device. That might be neat, you know, maybe swap like Storming or anything else for Compulsory because we have that at a higher number now. And again, basically any normal trap card is very useful with Traptrix because she prevents it from being negated. So that's pretty cool. What's the word? Blazing Mirror Force is another interesting option that you could use, and that's really cool because that gets rid of things. I need to pick some of those up, but for now, you know, Storm Mirror Force. And again, any traps, like legitimately, the best part with this deck, just as long as you're playing the main Traptrix monsters, I think maybe the most important are these. Your Myrmileo because it searches out any Trap Hole card. Traptrix again because any normal trap card can't be negated. As long as you're playing these, customize the trap lineup however you want. But anyway, that's what I'm playing for all the traps here. Now for the extra deck, which is nothing to talk about. This is kind of the minimum that you have to play. Again, play whatever Link monsters, Xyz monsters you want to play. I don't have a whole lot of Link monsters that I can show off, but for the most part, mostly Mrs. Radiant and Traptrix Rafflesia. Again, the thing is that you have Dionea, so you can special summon basically whatever you want. Summon Dionea, summon Myrmileo. Myrmileo gets a pop, and then you can Xyz or Link from there. Mrs. Radiant you can also make with the Scapegoat, so that's neat. So you can have a Mrs. Radiant. And then you can have 2 Traptrix monsters to, you know, open up your extra deck zones to bring out your Rafflesias. Bring out the Rafflesias in defense mode, not like attack like I showed. But Rafflesia is a great monster because it allows you to use Trap Hole cards from the deck. So that's real neat. What I mentioned about the regular trap hole, right? If you have a Rafflesia just chilling on the field, then you can, and the trap hole kind of chilling in your deck, and your opponent normal summons something, then woo, just activate your trap hole card from the deck. That's really neat. This one's real interesting. Again, this is useful, but there is another Link monster coming out soon that's specifically a Traptrix monster, and I'll go ahead and throw that up on the screen. And that one is very useful. It only opens up, you know, one of your Link zone or one of your extra deck monster zones, you know, just below it. But it has a good effect, and you only need to use one Traptrix monster to bring it out. So typically, you're going to bring out the Murmilio, right? Murmilio searches, and then Murmilio can just go right into the Link monster, so that's very useful. I don't know when we're going to be getting that into TCG, but whenever it does, the deck is like, that's literally the only thing that changes in the deck. Just shove that into the extra deck. But anyway, again, play whatever you want, whatever you have in the extra deck. Just mostly Rafflesia, Mrs. Radiant, maybe one. You don't even need like two. Just play Rafflesia, and then the Traptrix for Link's monster when that comes out. Anyway, that's it for the extra deck. Oh my gosh. Okay. But anyway, that's it for my Traptrix deck profile. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think these are some pretty cool monsters? And dang it, I need to figure out a good way to like lay these out, because that's how I normally end my deck profiles. But point is, this has been Traptrix. They are pretty cool. They've been around for a while. Pure Traptrix, this is basically them. And they have some viability, again, with the Link monster that's going to be coming out. But of course, the cool thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you can customize your deck. So probably some type of like mixture build is probably still around and still out there. Hat especially was popular way back in the day. But the fact that we're going to be getting some more Traptrix support for Link monsters, I think is really neat. Having Link monster support for basically any old archetype is always really cool, and the new Traptrix Link monster is real neat. So again, you know, cheap deck to pick up, and again, you can just customize it however you, I mean, you can customize any Yu-Gi-Oh deck however you want, but I feel like Traptrix a little more so. Just, you can play whatever trap holes. Again, as long as you're playing 3 bottomless, you're fine. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out. That's a pretty cool thing right there. Again, you can check out my other channels because, hey, I'm back on like basically everything. You can check out GatorX for Pokemon. You can check out GatorX Plays for my podcast and gameplay. Those are some pretty neat stuff. Linked in the description, iCards, and end cards hopefully too. Anyway, this has been Rex. Have a nice day.